Hello one and all and welcome to RCRL back in Canada. I hope your Sunday has gone well. Let's enrich that further with some of the best drivers of the RCRL community racing around the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. You join us here in this Q1 session where Wedgie for AlphaTauri is currently fastest on a 1:9.225. Seems like this track is currently quite damp, with Mears completing his lap on the intermediate tyres. It seems like someone's going rather sheepishly and has encountered a problem around the track. I'm not sure who. Well, we have Wedgie on board with the fastest man so far from this session. Not sure everything is alright as XTR Reds displaces Wedgie and goes top on a 1:9.1. So the times are already tumbling here at the circuit for Gilles Villeneuve, and we are certainly assured of a riveting and engrossing evening of racing. Let's ride on board with Dublin in the McLaren as he tackles his first hot lap of this track in this qualifying session, approaching turns 1, 2, turn 1 and 2, and he seems to have negotiated that alright, putting down the power towards turn 3, where we saw that infamous incident between Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton back when F1 last raced here in 2019. Then comes the end of the first sector and a part of the track where you really need to get the rear tyres hooked up to lay down the throttle and come now down onto the second DRS straight, approaching turn 8, requiring a great front end here to turn right, then back left. And that is the end of the second sector. The casino hairpin. So common for drivers to snatch a break at the apex. Dublin has avoided that. I've said Mears and Dublin has avoided that. He opens DRS and now is raging towards the final chicane, approaching the Wall of Champions, which is certainly ready to claim its victims here on this Sunday evening. Dublin has negotiated that well. He completes the lap and plants himself into P7. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Prudish medal, sorry. Going rather pedestrianly around the track. I think he's on an in lap. Yes, he's coming into the pit, so that would explain the reason why. Now, Mears has not set a representative lap time, so we'll hop on board with him once his lap gets underway. Is there anyone else? FFR Harry in the Ferrari, his lap is invalidated, so this isn't going to be a legitimate effort for him to progress further in this qualifying session. So he'll start it now. No, he's slowing down, in fact. It seems. Back to him perhaps in a little bit. Mears is nearly starting his lap. Official DTV now starts his lap. Currently in P9, a second off XTR Red's pace. But what can the AlphaTauri do? His teammate currently up in second. He would certainly like to put his own AlphaTauri in those competitive positions. The end of the first sector. Let's have a look. Let's use this official DTV now into the second sector. Oh, he's hit the wall. Official DTV seemingly getting a load of understeer through turn 7. That washed him into the concrete wall. He's lucky if he's escaped damage. But he seems to be going strong still. Now he's 10.5 off the pace by the end of the second sector. This final sector is basically two straights separated by the wall, or the final chicane, and the Wall of Champions. just gone for a second there, but let's just resume the action now. His yellow flag's currently out in Sector 3. Now the yellow flags are around FFR Harry, so has he had an incident? Is he on an in-lap? I'm not too sure. Is there anyone? Okay, SSRL Gasly seems to be on a quick lap, though it is invalidated, so we'll skip away from him. Miz struggling through turn 7. That's going to force it on his lap. Rapids, let's ride on board with the Mercedes, and he posts the fastest first sector we have in the Mercedes, and the silver arrows. What he can do. Merck shooting his teammate currently in 4th. Oh, as well. The circuit shield will know notorious for catching drivers out for even the most minor perceptible errors. Well, Rapid guilty of something like that there. Now into the casino hairpin, negotiating it very well, getting such a smooth, clean exit. And now down onto this straight. The DRS wide open, nearing the conclusion of his lap and his first representative lap time of his session. Gets through the final chicane A-OK and he crosses the line to go 8th. Rapids, who started the lap so incredibly strong, it kind of ebbed and flowed away, and he is surely through to Q2, but he'll need to improve if he wants to start in a competitive position for this race. Tommy is currently in the danger zone. Let's just go through quickly. In Q1, we will eliminate drivers that finished 16th and below, so we will be losing 3 drivers from this session. At the moment, it will be Ragut, Tommy and Stonelk. But we have still 5 minutes left to sort that order out. Gasly has had a strong first sector. Let's see if he can finish it off with a much more competitive lap time than he has at the moment. Nearly 2 seconds off XTR Red's fastest lap time so far. But what can he do? SSRL Gasly in the Alfa Romeo with a very clean helmet, I must say. That does look very nice, particularly on that car. But Gasly sets the quickest middle sector we have seen. Purple you can see there on the track map. Can he finish it off? Currently in 12th is SSRL Gasly. Bit of a mouthful for me. But there we go, through the final chicane. Looks like he may have hit the wall slightly. He's still got his car intact. He does improve by nearly 9/10 of a second, but it is only enough for P11. Meanwhile, Matt Vettel has got so close to XTR Red's front running pace so far and moves up into 2nd place. And we have yellow flags across the circuit. I'm trying to figure out why. Rapids now has set a rapid middle sector, quickest of anyone so far, through the casino hairpin and now down onto the DRS straight. This another lap for Rapids, who certainly wants to improve his position through the final chicane. So very clean there from the Mercedes. You will see at the finish line, that's P4 for Rapids. Just shy of 2/10 behind XTR Red's time. We are in for a brilliant battle between our RCRL drivers tonight. You can see there, the top 4 covered by less than 2/10 of a second. Our top 7 covered by less than 3/10 of a second. Oh, this will be good. This is going to be good. Oh my word, that's a horror crash there. FFR Harry slamming into the back of SSRL Gasly, who has received a 5-place grid penalty. But that is so incredibly bizarre there. You can just see that their Alfa Romeo slowing down, and well, the FFR Harry clattering into the back of them, and destroying his Ferrari and destroying any chances of him advancing further in this qualifying session. That is, well, unbelievably bizarre there. So wherever SSRL Gasly qualifies, he will be demoted 5 places, and that's just not what you want to see there, really. It's wrecked 2 drivers' qualifying sessions, but wow. Let's go on board with Weil in the Aston Martin. It's a 20.2 through the first sector. He's struggling a bit with understeer there, unless that's lag from the game. Just seems like he was a bit reluctant to put down the power. And he's invalidated his lap times. The chicanes causing the drivers problems. And it's certainly caused a massive one for Weil, who is currently in the bottom. Well, it's bottom 4 now because we have 19 drivers, so we will lose 4 drivers from this session. Someone's obviously joined since I iterated it was the bottom 3, but Weil needs to improve or he will be participating no further in this session. You see there a wheel on the circuit ghosting, but Weil now starting what will be his final lap of Q1. Through then turns 1 and 2, completes that oh so smoothly as we have yellow flags out once more. This seems like for Weil's teammate Ragayut through sector 3 at the casino hairpin. And he's going very, very slowly. Obviously, possibly trying to get out the way of others, but Weil now into the second sector. Doesn't exceed track limits, but he does have a visit to the wall. Let's hope that hasn't derailed his pace too much. Well, we will see by the end of this lap now, trying to get a slipstream from his teammate Ragayut with DRS wide open and with the checkered flag out. Is Ragayut going to get out of the way? Yes, he is. He's given his teammate a very nice slipstream. Is that going to be enough for Ragayut to progress further into Q2? No, it isn't. Ragayut hitting the wall and paying some very, very pricey consequences. The Aston Martin ripping off his front wing, and that spells the end of his qualifying venture. The Wall of Champions has claimed a victim. It's claimed Weil, and that is just not what he needed. Steffi Weffy Gamer in the Haas. Quickest through the middle sector. He's yet to show his hand in this qualifying session. What can he do? Currently bottom of the timesheets, but that is surely about to change. Passing the Wall of Champions without damage, unlike Weil. Steffi Weffy Gamer goes up into P11. He is through into Q2, but that was a dramatic ending to that qualifying session. Weil has, well, become victim to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and well, there's not a lot you can say other than seems like he got understeer through the final chicane, and wow. Let's have a look at the standings so far. XTR Red in the Red Bull, quickest from Matt Vettel by just under 3/100th of a second. Then comes Wedgie, Rapids, R7 Luke, Tommy, Merc Fusion, Ragayut, Prudish Medal, Dublin, Steffi Weffy Gamer, Official DTV, M Chammer, SSRL Gasly, and Stone Elk, with our bottom 3 being FFR Harry, who crashed out of the session, clobbering into the back of SSRL Gasly, Mears, Weil, and Holly Page. Grey clouds look down upon the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. They do look rather ominous. Rain may perhaps be on the way, but for the moment we have dry running. See there, the newly built F1 Paddock Club, built before the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix, and will certainly be a benevolent image as Formula One returns to the Canadian Grand Prix in just 2 months' time. It is a fan favourite. This is a race that fans and drivers alike look forward to each year, and well, let's hope that our drivers are enjoying the challenge that is this masterful, majestic circuit in Canada. We have collision between drivers that are running soft compound tyres and drivers that are running the medium compound tyres. Actually, no, the drivers that are on the soft compound tyres are in the pits. My apologies. So it seems like actually a medium compound tyres is the preferred choice so far. So drivers, if they progress into Q3 after qualifying in Q2 on these tyres, want to go longer into the race. Perhaps they recognise the challenge that is overtaking, despite the circuit Gilles Villeneuve being rather more well known for its overtaking. Perhaps they want to avoid that traffic and go for a longer first stint. But one of those drivers that is perhaps proposing that is Matt Vettel, but he's struggling to put down the powers. He seemingly doesn't have temperature in his tyres through the exit of turn 2. And I think he might perhaps be slowing down. Not too sure, but he does hit the fastest sector through the fastest purple first sector. That obviously is because he's the first one to set a lap time through there. Seems like he's gained a bit more temperature as he doesn't seem to be struggling on initial throttle application. Now, he's gone too quick into the casino hairpin, and this has been a very, very scruffy lap from Matt Vettel. Let's see how the rest of his lap fares through now turns 13 and 14 past the Wall of Champions with the finish line in sight. It's a 1.9.9. That's 8/10 slower than what XTR Red and probably Matt Vettel managed in Q1. We'll have to see. XTR Red, who was quickest in Q1. Let's see what he can do in Q2. .4 is what XTR Red has put through the first sector. SSRL Gasly is up into second place with a 1:10.119, but Prudish Medal has gone quickest on a 1:9.7. Raggayut follows him with a 1:9.9, so it seems rather close amongst the top 4 so far that XTR Red is on fine form on this lap. He has the temperature in that medium compound tyres, he has the speed. Is he going to have the lap by the end of his tour around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve? Red Bull only has one major challenge left of this track, and that is the turn 13-14 chicane. He's dealt that absolutely brilliantly. He takes the short run to the line. It's a 1:9.6 for XTR Red, who goes quickest. Soon after, he's replaced by Merc Fusion in the Mercedes, a 1:9.5 for the Mercedes, but on the soft compound tyre. That throws a spanner into the works. Strategy is varying here. R7 Luke is now out on the track in the Ferrari on the soft compound tyres. So, there are certainly drivers that are tinkering, flirting with the idea of going out on the soft compound tyres to get that light lap time to secure a place in Q3. That's if they can put it together, but that soft compound tyres is certainly preferred. We've got through the first sector. We have a McLaren, I believe, slowing down. Yes, Dublin, though, seems to be getting out of the way, so no harm there. ride on board with Steffi Weshy Gamer in the Haas on the medium compound tyres. Through the first sector, it's a 19.6. That's quite competitive, I believe. So then through, he's struggling for power there, losing the rear and almost getting into the tank slacker there for Haas. That certainly isn't going to be any help, as Wedgie in the AlphaTauri, a 1.8. That shows you the difference between the soft and the medium compound tyres on 1 lap pace. That is going to ask a few questions of all the drivers there. The soft compound tyres certainly have a lot more potential in their lap time. Well, obviously it's a softer compound, but enough, seemingly, for maybe the medium compound runners to perhaps second guess their initial run. Steffi Weshy Gamer still struggling to get down on the power through the final corner. He slots his Haas into 8th place on a 1:10.2. I don't think that's going to be enough. I really do not. There are still many drivers yet to set a lap time. And he's in danger. He certainly is in danger, is the Haas, along with official DTV. And, well, official DTV is the slowest of all the lap times so far. But Dublin in the McLaren on the soft compound tyres, so he's replicating the strategy of Wedgie, Merc Fusion. Yeah, Wedgie and Merc Fusion have going out on the soft compound tyres. What is this lap time going to bring for Dublin? Third. It is third for Dublin. That is a big lap for him. Yes, he's the slowest of all the soft compound runners so far, but he's in third, and that's a strong lap time. Okay, the quickest lap time in Q1 was a 1:9.1, but he's put himself in contention for Q3, and I can't see if he is going to miss out on Q3. He's not going to miss out by much. Matt Vettel has switched to the soft compound tyres in the Williams. Let's see what he can do on his latest tour of the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. Vettel has lost his lap time at the last moment there, cutting the chicane. And that lap time would have brought him 4th fastest. So he's going to have to set a lap time, because 9th, that's perilous. That is incredibly perilous there for Matt Vettel. Turn our attention to official DTV, currently in 12th. He's sure to improve now. He gets through the final apex and can see the finish line. He promotes himself as official DTV up into 4th place, a 1:9.4. That's competitive for the AlphaTauri. Let's ride on board Merc Fusion. So it seems that the soft compound tyre is the way to go. Mediums that many thought would be possibly good enough for, unless it was a bluff. Many thought it would be good enough to get through to Q3. That notion. That belief has been, well, rather quelled rather quickly. Merc Fusion went quickest of anyone through the second sector, and he loses the rear, and he does touch the wall. This final chicane is proving problematic for the drivers, and Merc Fusion has just learnt why. Hitting the curb, loses the rear, and that has thwarted what was going to be potentially a very strong lap time. RCRL Gasly is improving on his latest lap. Seems to have a car right ahead of him as he comes up to the final chicane. Gasly does have a 5-place grid penalty for this race after contact in Q1. He currently, though, is in the top 10. The 19.5 for Chama, but he's through the first sector. But he seems to be too early turning into the turn 6-7 chicane, and that has wrecked his lap. Let's ride on board with Steffi with your game. Actually, let's have a look at trackside. Oh, loses the rear there, does the Haas, and well, he must have kissed the concrete barrier there. That was nervy from Steffi Weffy Gamer, who again loses the rear. There is certainly a lack of stability in that Haas. He is improving, but he is pushing the limits of that car. If that can reap the rewards of a Q3 appearance, it's going to be worth it for the Haas. But the walls are lurking. The walls are waiting for the Haas. And at every apex, you feel like he's going to lose the rear and crash into the wall. This is jaw-droppingly exciting to watch for the Haas, but he is going to complete his lap. He was 30, he goes up into the top 10, 8th quickest for Steffi Weffy Gamer, a 1.9.5, but will that be enough? 2 minutes left of this Q2 session with so many questions still left to be answered. The Haas improves through the first sector, though he does seem to have gone too quick into turn 6, sorry. Again, getting right close up against the walls does the Haas, but he's quickest of anyone through the second sector. It did look a lot smoother from the Haas, so perhaps he was still testing with the tyre temperature. Perhaps it's you need to gain some temperature with the overcast conditions and seemingly cooler conditions. Maybe it is a struggle to get the tyres up to temperature for all the drivers. The Haas, though, is currently 9th. He is surely about to improve and assure his place in the top 10 shootout. He goes 5th. A 1.9.2 for the Haas. That most probably will be enough for a Q3 appearance, with the times tumbling, with Tommy going 6th and RCRL Gasly going 7th. Behind the Haas, things are looking good for Steffi Weffy. XTR Red, who was quickest in Q1, faces a Q2 elimination unless he gets this lap together. This will be his final attempt. Will it be enough? Certainly seems like it will be enough through the first 2 sectors, but he's got to complete this lap, and he's got to complete it cleanly and quickly enough. The checkered flag is bound. The XTR Red now through the final final chicane negotiates it well. He sees the checkered flag, and he goes quickest of anyone, a 1.8.6 for XTR Reds. He is the man to beat on 1 lap pace at the moment. Quickest in Q1, quickest in Q2. This man's on form. This man's on fire around the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. RCRL Gasly is not going to improve. Merc Fusion currently 13th. He will be eliminated unless he can complete this lap. Prudish Medal is the driver waiting anxiously for this lap to be completed. Merc Fusion in the Mercedes, currently 13th on a 1.9.5, goes up to 7th on a 1.9.2. He is through to Q3, and ladies and gentlemen, we do have our top 10 for RCRL Canadian Grand Prix. XTR Red then, quickest in both qualifying sessions so far, but that doesn't mean he'll be on pole, and although it's an indicator, this is the session where drivers are going to be pushing to their absolute limits. This is the quickest you will see the drivers in tonight's session. So hold tight, get ready for what will be a splendid spectacle of racecraft, precision, and accuracy. Well, precision and accuracy, the same thing. But you get what I mean. It is going to be one hell of a ride. XTR Red has lit up the circuit Gilles Villeneuve so far. Can he add another lap of magic to solidify his place as the fastest man today? Seems like over half the field are out on track, starting their outlaps and getting ready for one heck of a push around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. When Formula One last visited the Canadian Grand Prix, the pole position lap time set by Sebastian Vettel when the Ferrari was a 1:10.240. We have obliterated that so far today. We're going beyond what F1 has seen around the circuit. Like I said, hold tight. Let's get ready for 10 minutes of jaw-droppingly quick driving. XTR Red then, quickest in Q1, quickest in Q2, now sets about his Q3 activities and seems to be very smooth there through the first two corners. The curbs, the walls are always trying to catch out drivers here. Can they do it to XTR Red? A 19.1 through the first sector. That isn't the quickest we have seen so far. But of course, the lap is made up of 3 sectors and not 1. We have yellow flags out in sector 1, someone going rather slowly, but XTR Red carrying on through the second sector. Looks at ease in that Red Bull. So the grey clouds overhead are rather dark. XTR Red is lighting up this track, and in such lightning fashion too. He opens DRS and only has 2 more corners to go before he finishes his lap. Through then, turns 13, through turns 14. A 1.9.1 from Ragut is the time to beat, but that isn't going to be for much longer. A 1.8.7, slower than his Q2 time, but enough to put him on provisional pole for the moment. XTR Red hits the field. R7 Luke, though, has lost his front wing, so he's gone for rather precarious activities on this lap. But Merc Fusion up into second in the Mercedes, Tommy up to 4th in the Alfa Romeo. And when the only other driver out on track or setting a lap time has his lap invalidated. But for the moment, XTR Red is going to make it a clean sweep of P1s in qualifying today. Weaving from left to right, RCRL Gasly on his outlap, trying to gain temperature in his tyres. Ready then to start his Q3 lap time. Into turn 1 for the Alfa Romeo, getting through there very nicely. I must say his helmet certainly matches the car, complementing one another. I'm not some kind of art genius, but looks rather nice. Back to the action on track and scraping the walls there on the exit of that chicane. A 19.4, the quickest we have seen so far. But we'll have to see what he can do after the next two sectors. XTR Red for the moment is quickest from Rapids and Merc Fusion, with Raghut 4th and Tommy 5th. But we really are getting the times away in Q3. The rest of the field, the rest of the remaining top 10 are ready to set their lap times or are going about setting their lap time. Rides on board with the Alfa Romeo going into the final chicane. Gets through there very nicely and can see the finish line. What's it going to be for RCRL Gasly? It's the slowest of the pile so far on a 1:9.7. Steffi Weffy Gamer is nearing the end of his lap. Wedgie losing the rear there. Soon will be finishing his lap. There to a Mercedes, not too sure. Yes, it has. Merc Fusion has crashed out of the session, and as Steffi Weffy Gamer goes 6th, we have another latest development, a dramatic development here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Merc Fusion, who was 3rd, is not going to improve his lap time as he crashes through the final corner as Wedgie in the AlphaTauri goes quickest. By just less than a quarter of a tenth, he goes quickest as he loses the rear and spins around. But he is now the guy to beat in this session. Quite unbelievable. He's the guy to beat in this session, and he's gone for a spin about 500 metres after. Probably a bit more. Wow. He has laid down the quickest lap so far, and he is the man the rest have to beat. I'm amazed if he hasn't got front wing damage. That he definitely hit the wall. Steffi Weffy Gamer has gone for another try on this lap, and he improves to 6th. Goes 2.5 tenths quicker. Though it's only a 1 place improvement, it's a place improvement nonetheless. And that puts him in the frame for a top 4, possibly top 3 start. Because he seems just a little bit off that pace. He can hook a lap, he certainly will be in the frame. But Wedgie has struck a lap near the dying stages of qualifying. XTR Red was the man to beat. Wedgie has just replaced him in the AlphaTauri. Little over 3.5 minutes left of qualifying. Our drivers are going to make a last-ditch effort to improve their lap times and position to start for the RCRL Tier 1 Canadian Grand Prix. Tommy in the Alfa Romeo is the latest to start a lap. What can he do? Currently 7th ahead of his teammate SSR Gasly, who has a 5-place grid penalty regardless. But, well, what can Tommy do? He improves through the first sector by about half a tenth. Then lays down the power on the exit of turn 7, opens his DRS and makes the blast towards turn 8. Getting so fractionally close to the Armco barriers there, where we've seen a few drivers actually scrape it, though hasn't done them too much damage. Tommy is quickest of anyone through the middle sector. It's a 2/10 improvement, which would see him possibly in the frame for 4th or 3rd. We'll have to see. He's going to complete this lap if he can get through the final chicane A-OK. Reaching speeds of over 200 miles per hour. Scrapes the wall of champions. That is going to hinder his exit. But Tommy improves to 3rd. That's a brilliant lap there for the Alfa Romeo, and well, perhaps the track's improving, but that is a very solid effort there from the Alfa Romeo, despite that touch through the final chicane. Red is improving through the first 2 sectors. With little over a minute left of this Q3 session, it is boiling down to a breathtaking finish. The Red Bull has been in command from the get-go in Q1. He scrapes the wall like others through the wall of champions. But what's he going to do? It's not enough to displace Wedgie to go on pole position. He does improve his lap time, but only by a millisecond. XTR misses out on pole by the slenderest of margins, but Wedgie himself is going quicker. The AlphaTauri, who set the pace after his first lap of Q3, looks to extend his margin. XTR Red seems to be eliminated from the contest. Can Wedgie solidify his place on pole position? Takes a short run to the line. A 187 becomes a 186. Wedgie improves by just over half a tenth. I'm just trying to find out who else seems to be improving. Rapids through the first sector and second sector isn't improving enough for his liking. R7 and Luke through the final chicane. Yellow flags are out in sector 1. What can R7 Luke do? He improves to 6th. That will be his best starting position. Rapids nears the end of his lap. So XTR Red, who was quickest in the first 2 qualifying sessions, is not going to be on pole as Rapids almost loses the rear and slides into the wall. He lost his teammate to a crash through that final chicane and into the wall. Did not want to make it both Mercedes. But it doesn't look like anyone's improving. Certainly Wedgie, who's, well, hitting the wall. I don't think anyone's improving. Steffi Wethy Gamers hit the wall. Official DTV is improving, but his lap has been invalidated. So from what I can see, it is pole position for Wedgie. He has put together the lap and is on pole by just less than a tenth of a second. Great job there from the AlphaTauri, who did his job in Q3. So then, with everyone either retiring from the session or peeling off into the pits, that is it for our Q3 session and qualifying action for the Canadian Grand Prix here at RCRL Tier 1 Division. It is Wedgie on pole from XTR Red. Then comes Tommy, Ragnarok, Steffi Weffy getting... Oh, the leader was one of them. How convenient. Like I said, that is it for qualifying. The start of the race nears very soon. So there we have it. Wedgie on pole on a 1.8.6. Then comes XTR Red. Then comes Tommy, Ragu, Steffi Weffy Gamer, R7 Luke, Rapids, who crashed out in... no, it's Merc Fusion, my apologies. Rapids. Then Merc Fusion and Nate, SSR Gasly, who will be demoted 5 places thanks for his earlier crash. Then comes official DTV. We have a look at the lap actually. So Wedgie, race director. Let's have a look at this. So 19.1, 21.4, 19.2, 21. So it looks like XTR Reds just couldn't put it together, unfortunately for him. And green sectors on 2 different laps. So, well, that may have thwarted his progress towards a potential pole position, but Wedgie has done the job when it matters, and he starts from pole. Apologies, one and all. I am completely just blown away by what happened there. Obviously, another Codemasters glitch. Yeah, typical. About typical, but we are nearly ready to start this race. Drivers are currently on their formation lap, so it is Wedgie on pole position. Then comes XTR Red, Tommy, Ragyut, Steffi Weffy Gamer, R7 Luke, Rapids, Merc Fusion, Official DTV, and Prudish Medal. See the predicted pit stop strategy. They are predicting at least a 2 stops, and with the drivers on the soft compound tyres, that could be quite likely. See across the field, the soft tyre is the preferred starting tyre, but Prudish Medal, Matt Vale, Stone Elker on the mediums, with Mears on the hards. Seems like we are nearly ready to go. Wedgie starts from pole position with XTR Red starting alongside him. We have 5 red lights on for the Canadian Grand Prix. And at the Circuit Shield Villeneuve, we are underway. It's a great start from XTR Red, who gets past and into the lead by turn 1. It seems like they're Tommy trying to put it down the inside of Wedgie as well, but they're still going side by side. XTR Red leads the field then through the first few corners. It's a dream stop. It's spun around. And Tommy's race, which started off the line very promisingly, has just been wrecked apart a few corners later. Wedgie has had a dramatic, chaotic start here at the Circuit Shield Villeneuve. It's not been in the streamlined fashion that he would have wanted, but it's XTR Red who leads by a yawning chasm out in front. We have side-by-side action there between R7 Luke and Prudish Medal. It seems like R7 Luke went off the track to overtake Prudish Medal there. He currently keeps the place as he blocks there, or actually tries to go down the inside of Official DTV and makes contact there. Dramatic start here at the Circuit Shield Villeneuve as Weil trying to go side by side with Prudish Medal. Then Dublin gets past him. Absolutely hectic here on the opening lap. Just for disclaimers, ignore Valiant Buffalo. He is not. That's him basically. So just ignore him as we have a spinner. Someone there went for a spin through the final corner, it seems. May have been the Alfa Romeo, I'm not too sure, but drama from the get-go here at the Circuit Shield Villeneuve. XTR Red leads out in front from Wedgie, Ragyut, Rapids, Steffi Weffy Gamer. That's our top 5 as Hollier Page has a 3-second time penalty already for track limits. So it's a dream start there for the Red Bull, who's up into the lead. Let's ride on board there with R7 Luke as Steffi Weffy goes wide, and that's there R7 Luke losing the rear and hitting the wall. He's damaged his front wing. The Ferrari damages his front wing, and that is disaster there. He's surely going to have to come on into the pits. That's definitely his end plate gone. I'm not sure if there's any more gone, but the Circuit Shield Villeneuve is biting. It's biting hard. The driver facing an almighty challenge here today. Oh, and they're almost contact there between Steffi Weffy Gamer and R7 Luke. Getting late in the brakes there with Steffi Weffy Gamer, but my word, action already, and we have yet more action as Tommy and FFR Harry go side by side through turn 1. Looks like Tommy has that place in his hands. Matt Vettel and Weil now going side by side. The Aston Martin will have the inside line. He's going to be late on the brakes, and he has the possession. 8th place there for the Aston Martin. And there is Matt Vettel spinning out of contention. And yet again, we have damage as Dublin now receives a time penalty. It's utter carnage. Who else do we have off the track? We have Dublin, it seems like, and Weil off the track. Weil has a damaged front wing. This is pandemonium around the Circuit Shield Villeneuve. So both drivers rejoining the race. absolutely crazy. Like I said, not that I noticed it, but DRS is enabled now, so that is going to aid overtaking. Is Rapid's going to put it down the inside of Ragnuk for third place? No. But what can he do down the start, finish straight? He has DRS, he has Slipstream. Will we have the final podium position? He looks for a move down the inside of turn one, but doesn't make it stick. Battle for third place is intensifying. The Aston Martin ahead of Rapids, with Merc Fusion not too far behind, an official DTV in the Alpha Tauri not too far behind him. We've had a plethora of drama so far here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and we're just getting started. Lap 4 of 35 we are on at the moment. And if you've just joined us, thank you very much for your company. I hope this race will fill up to your expectations. The start certainly has. We have more racing drama to unfold. Rapids is closing in on the Aston Martin. He pulls out with DRS, Slipstream, and with third place in his hands by the end of the straight. The Mercedes progresses up into third place, and it's been a lightning start there for him. And he's now actually up into second as Wedgie comes into the pits, and so too does... Oh no, it's just Wedgie that comes into the pits there, but Rapids up into second, but he's 4 seconds behind XTR Res, who is in a different league out in front. Times are tumbling. R7 Luke currently holds the fastest lap on a 1:11.7. But with this, the fuel loads being at their absolute highest, the times will be getting quicker as the race goes on. Stone Elk has received a 3-second time penalty for track limit. So Stone Elk, who is currently in 16th place, that is going to do him no good whatsoever. Ragnuk, though, is going to set his eyes upon retaking that place on Rapids. He's closing by the end of the straight, but isn't close enough to make a move. What can he do down the start-finish straight? Has he got a good enough exit? Probably not to make a move into turn one. Rapids has the legs on the Aston Martin so far. Collier Page and Tommy are going side by side. The Alfa Romeo slotting in behind the Williams is now going to pull out to the outside, with the RS aiding his progress down the straight. He has more than enough to get ahead of the Williams. That there is 14th place for the Alfa Romeo, who then clips the wall. The gap out in front is currently at just under 4 seconds between XTR Red and Rapids, so it is a very healthy gap there for the Red Bull, who took the lead at the start and is staying there for the moment. Ragnuk once more has DRS on Rapids in front of him. What can he do going into the final chicane? Not enough to get up a position. We have yellow flags out the end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3, so I'm not too sure what that is about. But our eyes are cast upon this battle for second, third, fourth and fifth. Stone Elk currently holds 16th place in the Alpine, but SSRL Gasly is breathing down his neck, though he cannot make a move into turn one. Let's cast our eyes back to the battle near the sharp ends of the grid. It's still Rapids in second place, it is still Ragnuk in third. Merc Fusion, though, is going to want to do something about it. He looks so much closer there to the Aston Martin, but the DRS train is most probably forming and keeping Ragnuk well, keeping Merc Fusion at arm's bay. But Merc Fusion, though, pulls into the pit, so he's going to trigger the undercut in the Mercedes. What can he do? From the soft tyres, he's going onto the mediums there. So, depending on where he comes out, this could be incredibly interesting. Ferrari is also paying a visit to the pits, seeing if there's any action unfolding throughout the field. Anyone too close to each other for the moment? Not yet. Merc Fusion seems like he's progressed past Mears, and Mears going side by side with Wedgie. Wedgie on the outside. Wedgie sees his 8th place. It's not been the start of the race that Wedgie wanted, but that is something for him. He's now up into 8th. What can he do from there? So then, seems like Merc Fusion is making progress past M. Chama. So Merc Fusion now up into 6th place just after making his pit stop. What can he do on this medium compound tyres? Is it going to trigger any activity from anyone else across the field? His teammate Rapids does come into the pits then. So too does XTR Red. So Ragged is going to take over the lead of the race. XTR Red goes onto the medium compound tyres. So too does Rapids. Official DTV is going to follow suit as well. So Rapids is going to come out of the pits. He's going to be so close to his teammates. He has the outside line and he slots in directly behind his teammate. So Merc Fusion triggering the undercut, has the position ahead of his teammate. Undercut seemingly working, and well, working an absolute treat with Wedgie waiting in the wings. Battle between the two Silver Arrows is set to intensify. Merc Fusion currently holds 4th ahead of his teammate Rapids. It's been an eventful race so far from the Mercedes pair. What can happen from here? Approaching the casino hairpin, scene of Robert Kubica's horrific accident in 2007, and coming down to what was in fact the old pit straights, but this part of the track has been heavily revised in the years since the circuit Gilles Villeneuve first wandered onto the Formula 1 circus. Rapids there though wanders into 4th place past his teammates and leaves Merc Fusion waiting in his wake. Rapids does have DRS, and that's going to be enough to confirm his 4th place as they advance on into turn 1. So Rapids retaking the place on Merc Fusion, who managed to secure the undercut on him and making it work. On board with Steffi Weffy Gamer, he's going to look to the inside of Mears in the McLaren. Doesn't make it stick, but if he can put the power down early enough, he can possibly make a move. He's almost shoving him around the corners of this track, but the McLaren holding position for the moment. That's a gorgeous exit from the house. He's surely going to have the legs on the McLaren to get up into 8th place. Yes, he does. Later on the brakes with more speed down the straight. Oh, he loses the rear! And he smashes into the wall and out of this race. Steffi Weffy Gamer has met the conclusion to his Grand Prix, and he brings out the safety car, which is going to shape up the order, because drivers like Pragayut, who hasn't pitted yet, but he's actually passed the pits. It's the Aston Martin. The safety car, oh my word. If the safety car had come out seconds before, this would have been the perfect opportunity for Ragayut to seize his opportunity, but it hasn't. This is going to rip his race apart, because the drivers behind him can make their stops and reduce that deficit to a mere few seconds. Oh, how the inverse proportionality of sporting drama can determine the outcome of the race, and we have just learnt it right here. Ragayut, seconds from making a dream pit stop, a free pit stop, has may just seen his race undone. He does still lead the race. His deficit is cut to nil as he overtakes the safety car there. That is quite worrying because you're not allowed to do that. So Ragu obviously thinks if he's going to receive a penalty, it's going to be worth overtaking the safety car and making that pit stop, but he is going to face a severe penalty for his actions. And in fact, he receives a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but that's controversy right there. He makes his stop and was the safety car allowed him to overtake? My apologies. Yes, it has. My apologies there. I thought I saw the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. My apologies to Ragu there. Well, that's certainly done him some damage. He drops down to 8th momentarily. Can he seize 7th back? Yes, he does. He comes out of the pit lane ahead of our pole sitter, Wedgie. I thought there's no way safety car is able to be overtaken by a racer, but obviously they needed to form cars. Someone must have been lapped for that matter. So, my apologies there. The Ragu comes out in 7th place, so that's difficult to gauge. He has made a free pit stop, but he has lost out. He has lost out because there was more of a merge amongst the drivers when he made that pit stop, so he's lost out more. He's down into 7th, so if we have a look at the stops, everyone in the top 7 apart from Miz has made their stop, so effectively Ragu is 6th on the road. That's not ideal for me. I think the safety car, if it had come out seconds beforehand, this would have been a lot better for the Aston Martin. But he's still in this race. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve is known for its propensity to throw out dramatic, flummoxingly brilliant, jaw-droppingly amazing races. Even for online, we know it can happen. But if you have just joined us, we are on lap 13 of 35. Where did those first few laps go? Lap 13 of 35. The safety car is out on track. Steffi Weffy Gamer lit up the rear of his Haas and wandered his Haas into the concrete wall, damaging the front of his Haas, and he has made an early exit to this race. XTR Red, who started second, made a dream start on Wedgie, who started from pole. XTR Red in the Red Bull made that move into turn 1, but Tommy made contact with Wedgie and his race has been turned upside down. But he is in a decent position, is Tommy. It could have been worse. The fact that the safety car is now merged, he could be on for some very good points still, Tommy. So this race is far from over. But let's just quickly go through the order. XTR Red leads from Rapids, Official DTV, Mears, Prudish Medal, R7 Luke, Ragut, Wedgie, Stoner, Merc Fusion, Maxville, Wild, Tommy, Harry, Valiant Buffalo, but ignore him, Dublin, Hollier Page, SSRL Gasly, and M Channel. But the safety car is coming in this lap. That was a mouthful, and XTR Red becomes the de facto safety car and will get us going once more. Rapids can see the dancing Red Bull out in front of him. The Red Bull gaining temperature and putting down the power and getting us back underway here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. R7 Luke has got ahead there of Ragu. Dublin with a 5-second time penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Seems like the Ferrari will get the same punishment if he doesn't give that back the position. But down the inside goes Ragu, and he does have that position. Now R7 Luke's in a battle with Wedgie. Wedgie on the outside. Wedgie makes the move stick. Wedgie, our pole sitter, is up into 7th place. And we have side-by-side action amongst Prudish Medal and Miz. Miz up now into 4th place. And we're on board with Wedgie trying to make a move there on the Aston Martin of Ragu. Doesn't make that move stick, but XTR Red dominant so far, out in front by 7/10 of a second. He's untroubled. But side by side between Mercury and R7 Luke, the Mercedes has the inside line and with it has 8th place, but the Ferrari's going to come back. He puts down the power, and as they race towards the casino hairpin, he looks to the outside. He isn't late enough on the brakes. Mercury has the inside line and has the track position on the Ferrari for the moment. Miz may have to surrender his 6th place because Wedgie is on a charge. He's going to look to the outside of the chicane. Is he going to be late enough on the brakes? Yes, he is, but he cuts the chicane. The AlphaTauri cuts the chicane. I wouldn't be surprised if he has to give the place back. Now Merc Fusion is going down the inside of the McLaren, and that is 7th place there for the Mercedes, who gets oh so close to the AlphaTauri in front. We have yellow flags out in sector 3. We have a McLaren in trouble. Dublin seems to be out of this race. So that's some McLaren going slowly. It says Dublin's out this race, so I imagine he's either encountered damage or something. But there are yellow flags out. XTR Red out in front now has received a 3-second time penalty for track limits. For the moment, we're looking at the battle between Weil and Matt Bell. We have a train of drivers out in front, and that's a poor exit from Stonehouse there, who is going to surrender his position to Tommy. And Tommy then sending it down the inside, so late on the brakes, but that's absolutely brilliant there from the Alfa Romeo. The McLaren did not see that coming, and now stares down the gearbox of Tommy's Alfa Romeo. Brilliant there, Tommy. Absolutely brilliant. Tommy's taking the fight to R7, Luke. So late on the brakes again is Tommy. Such authority he has. That brake pedal was not going to be his friend, but the leaderboard certainly will be. 8th place at the moment for the Alfa Romeo, is right in front of him. Wedgie is igniting in a battle with Merc Fusion. The safety car certainly spicing up the action. Not that we necessarily needed it, but it's a treat nonetheless. The Mercedes there can see Wedgie defending to the inside. What's he going to do? He's going to pull to the outside, and he makes the move. That's masterful. That's majestic. That's marvellous there for Merc Fusion, who gets ahead of the AlphaTauri just before the safety car comes out. It seems like FFR Harry has retired from this race. We'll have to see where he crashed from. Have a look at Matt Bell. Not too sure. I think he crashed on the exit of turn 7. But wow, second safety car here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. What a race we have been treated to. Ragnuk now peels off into the pits on lap 16 of this race, ready to start lap 17. Yeah, wow, what a race we've had so far. It's an absolute treat. Formula One certainly has missed the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in the past 2 years, where COVID pandemic has wreaked havoc on the Formula One circuit, but we'll be very glad to have it back in a few months' time, and for good reason. And this race has certainly been attestation of it, biting the drivers so hard, punishing even the tiniest of judgments, and that's proven by the 2 safety cars we have had so far. The first was for Steffi Wettergamer, the second was for FFR Harry. I assume he crashed out like Steffi Wettergamer, but we'll have to see. Have reached half distance of this race. This Canadian Grand Prix has been something akin to anarchy, so far. We've had crashes, we've had overtakes, we've had the lot. And that's just only the first half of the race. Goodness knows what the next 17 laps are going to bring. But make sure to fasten your seatbelts and get ready for one pulsating ride. The second safety car has been brought out. The first was brought out for Steffi Weffy Gamer, who crashed at this part of the track. The second safety car was brought out for the Ferrari of FFR Harry, who seemingly, I'm not certain of this, but seemingly crashed out of the race. The safety car, though, is going to come in at the end of this lap, and for the second time, XTR Red will get us up and running once more. Weaving from left to right is the Red Bull. When is he going to choose his point? Rapids. Wasn't close enough on the first time. He's not close enough on the second time. XTR Red has claimed another absolute blinder and gets us going once more. Official DTV can see Rapids' rear wing getting larger, larger and larger, but it isn't large enough to make a move down the inside of turn 1. He holds third place for the moment. Back in action once more here at the circuit short of Villeneuve. Merc Fusion receives a time penalty for track limits. One of many to receive a time penalty so far, but out in front is XTR Red for the moment. But we're on board here with his teammate Prudish Medal, who started from 10th place, currently runs in P4. But the driver in third, right in front of him, is official DTV, who has just received another time penalty. That is going to do him no good whatsoever, but Rapids is not letting go of XTR Red so far. This is the closest XTR Red has been to the clutches of second place. Just 0.3 of a second, or just under 0.4 of a second, separates the top two for the moment. At the moment, it's XTR Red from Rapids, but who's going to be in front in the next few moments? So much is yet to be decided from this race, and you can feel the tension. You can certainly feel the tension. Tommy's making a move on Merc Fusion. Merc Fusion pushed out wide, comes back onto the track and maintains that 5th place. Tommy then, I think Merc Fusion's given the place back as Tommy progresses back up into 5th place. You can see the Hollier page tapping the rear of Fragute there and almost, well, smashing into the back of him, which would have done both of them tremendous damage. It seems like Wedgie's got a very good exit on the Williams. Hollier page, what's he going to do? Is he going to defend to the inside? No, he's just far enough ahead to maintain his 9th place, but goes out wide, and is that going to bring the AlphaTauri back in play? No, not just yet. Through the casino hairpin, it looks like R7 gets braved into the inside, but he's not going to make the move stick. He's given Wedgie something to think about, and instead of attacking, he's thought about defending, has the AlphaTauri defending that final point paying position for the moment. Struggling on the final apex there, and the Williams is closing him down. To the inside goes the Williams. Is he going to make it stick? No. Ragnute is late enough on the brakes to maintain that place. Wedgie and R7 Lucas still going for it. It looks like the Ferrari's got a good enough exit. They both lose the rear there. Oh, that was a hairy moment for the pair of them. Again, great drama around the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve certainly living up to what we know it to be. DRS has been enabled. That's going to aid a lot of overtaking and may aid Rapids' charge to the lead. The Red Bull is not out of sight for the Mercedes yet. It's just like 2021, Mercedes versus Red Bull. Wow, what is this edition of RCRL going to bring us? Official DTV heads the queue. Prudish Medal is right behind him, with Tommy 3rd in the queue, 5th on the road. The AlphaTauri weaving from left to right, trying to maintain that place, but is it going to be enough as they go down the start-finish straights? He's not weaving from left to right, he's far enough ahead. But Tommy again late on the brakes, asserting his presence on the brakes, and perhaps asserting his place in fourth place, not for the moment, but it's been laid down the power. But Alfa Romeo is going to look to the outside. He makes the move, thickly hits. He's hit by Brutish Medal. Oh, that's so incredibly close. We could have lost both drivers there, but Tommy at the moment is ahead on the road, and Merc Fusion down the inside forces Brutish Medal off the road, and they make contact again. Brutish Medal's here, there and everywhere at the moment as Ragnarok now progresses past Gasly. Gasly now looks to the outside, they too make contact. The Alfa Romeo goes off the road. Wedgie then almost hits the wall, and it's absolute anarchy here at the circuit Jules Villeneuve. We have two wide. It's like Noah's Ark going into the casino hairpin, side by side amongst the field right now. It seems like Ragnarok for the moment is ahead of Brutish Medal. Brutish Medal losing a handful of places so far on this lap. But is he going to take one back? He looks to the inside, he's going to dart to the outside into the turn 13-14 chicane. It's not going to work there for the Red Bull, as Wedgie had such brilliant reactions to avoid. What's gone on there for Wedgie? Something's gone on there for the pole sitter for today's race. May have glitched, I'm not too sure, but that is going to do him no good whatsoever, as Wild, using the grip in his tyres, the potential he possesses, right the outside body page. What a move from the Aston Martin, showing the rip there. Whilst receiving a 3-second time penalty, admittedly, but wow, what a move from the Aston Martin. SSRL Gasly now can see the rear wing of Brutish Medal, but for not... I was going to say for not too much longer, but Brutish Medal just holding that place from the moment as Tommy is up into third. Tommy gets past official DTV, and the Alfa Romeo now in third place, taking that final podium position. But whilst this field is squabbling out in front, XTR Red leads by 6/10 of a second from Rapids. Official DTV is coming back at the Alfa Romeo and makes it down the inside into the chicane. And that's done splendidly there from the AlphaTauri, swapping positions, corner after corner, lap after lap, and we're loving it. Yellow flags have been brought out in sector 3 as Ragu down the inside of Merc Fusion. They touch, but they manage to keep on going. But he's got a great exit as the Aston Martin, but not good enough to trouble Merc Fusion's 5th place for the moment. Wow, what action, what drama around the circuit, Jules Villeneuve. You have yellow flags out in sector 1. It looks like Mears has had a problem somewhere. He has potentially not damaged his front wing. We'll have to see, but let's cast our eyes finally back for the battle for the lead. The Mercedes is hunting down XTR Red. He's going to have DRS. Is this going to be a change of lead? Weaving from left to right, XTR Red trying to break the toe of the Mercedes, though, isn't going to make the move into the chicane. He's going to try and make it down the start finish strip. That's a marvellous exit there from the Red Bull. He's streaking away from the Mercedes and he's going to take or maintain that place for the moment. Official DTV still ahead of Tommy, with Merc Fusion lurking in the background. But no moves being made into turn 1 for the moment. Battle for the lead becomes more riveting by the corner, by the lap. And Rapids can see his lead getting closer and closer. What's XTR Red going to do? He's not going to defend to the inside. The Mercedes has the legs on him, has track position, and has the lead as the Red Bull peels off into the pits. So as his lead goes, he wanders off into the pit lane. Fusion, as we ride on board with him, has a time penalty, so that's going to do him no good whatsoever. But it's not going to be any good as Ragu down the inside spins. Ragu, who was making a move on Merc Fusion and on Tommy as well, spins round, and that has done his race no good whatsoever. XTR Red comes out of the pits right behind Ragiut, who gives him the position. So that's not bad for XTR Red. It seems like he hasn't lost out too badly. At 26 of 35 of this brilliant Canadian Grand Prix so far. We've had such tremendous racing from start to the present moment, and it's been a joy to behold. Tommy defending what at the moment is third place, effectively P4. What's he going to do to defend from Merc Fusion? He defends to the inside, but the Mercedes isn't going to make the move to the outside just yet. But as they lay down the power, lay down the throttle, the Mercedes is chasing down the Alfa Romeo. As they head towards turn 1, it is still status quo. Tommy ahead of Merc Fusion. Ragiut now through turn 1 on the inside of the Alpine. Stoneelk drops out of the points and can now see the rear wing of Ragiut's Aston Martin. Max Bell sets the fastest lap of the race so far in the Williams. So he's going strong on that soft compound tyre. We're looking at this battle for second. Tommy, for the moment, behind official DTV. But how long is that going to last? He has DRS in the Alfa Romeo. Is he going to make a move into the final chicane? No, he's just a little bit too far back. But they both get brilliant exits. Is this Tommy's moment to seize second place? Official DTV defending to the inside, keeping Tommy at arm's length. Then gets a tap for his troubles. As you can see there, a train merging amongst the drivers. And you can see R7 Luke there defending from Wedgie. XTR Red is closing in on this gaggle of cars. This could perhaps penalise him in his quest for race victory. We'll have to see. You can see Wedgie, who was our pole sitter from this race, getting all out of sorts with the rear of his car, and is not able to make an impression for the moment. Merc Fusion giving Tommy a tap there through that chicane at turns 8 and 9. Wow, what battles we have been served in this race, and Tommy has got a very, very good exit on official DTV. But is he going to seize that? Is he happy with staying in the DRS to save that energy? But he's closing in on the Alpha Tower. He's going to look to the inside. It's the Alfa Romeo, and that the second place as DTV cuts the chicane. But that's second place for Tommy, and DTV drops down the order. He's falling like fly at the moment. He's now dropped down into 5th place with his teammate right behind him. And Wedgie almost losing the rear there as Ollier Page stares down his rear wing. But that has been the few hundred metres from hell there for official DTV, who concedes his position to Wedgie and now drops down into 6th place. But Merc Fusion now looks to take second place, not late enough in the brakes, but with that long DRS straights nearing. This is surely going to be his moment. XTR Red is now caught up in this battle. He's right behind official DTV. So he's effectively going to take back the lead of the race once the pit stops are made, is XTR Red, but Rapids is going to have the younger, fresher tyres. Merc Fusion has so much speed down the main straights and seizes second place from Tommy's grasp. Oh, we've had a crash. R7 Lucas thundered into the wall through the final corner, and that is the end of this race, and a third safety car has been brought out. So R7 Luke, who I believe crashed in qualifying, has crashed too in this race, and his trip to Montreal has been one to forget. with all the drivers making their stops, XTR Red is behind Wedgie. So the top two staying as it is on lap 31 of 35. So Wedgie, well, is in the lead of the race. XTR Red has been leading most of this race, while and Rapids are on the quicker, softer, younger tyres. We are going to have such a frantic finish to this Canadian Grand Prix. Wow, this is going to be exciting. With just a handful of laps to go, it seems like we're only going to have 3 laps of racing, but it's going to be three brilliant laps of racing. It's been such a journey from lap 1 to lap 31 so far of this race. We have 4 chapters left to write, and let's hope they will be 4 thrilling chapters too. So if we have a look at the stops made so far, so in fact actually Wedgie has made 3 stops compared to XTR Red's 2, but Wedgie is obviously on 20 lap old tyres. That's going to be interesting because his tyres will be dying off. XTR Reds on the younger tyres, Rapids on even younger tyres, while on soft but old tyres. Such a variety of tyres for the drivers. Wow, what a finish we are in for. Wedgie, who crashed and spun round on lap 1, saw his race fall apart, but only for that moment. He's bounced back brilliantly, and at least his chance to lead the race. He will get us going once the safety car pulls into the pits, and at the very most we will have 3 laps to keep the Red Bull of XTR Red at bay. Hold on to your seats, everyone. This is going to be some ending. Drivers trying to maintain temperature in their tyres for this last few lap dash. Looks like the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. Seems like it. Safety car is getting away from Wedgie, or is not sure. Can't tell. Safety car is staying out there, so Wedgie is creating such a big gap there to the safety car. It's bunching up the field a lot more than I'm sure the drivers would want, but there you go. Mears now pulls off into the pits in the McLaren. Is going to make a pit stop onto the younger, fresher tyres. So then we will have just 2 laps of racing at most. So there will be no more DRS in this race, so it will be pure overtaking, not helped by what many deem as an artificial mechanism used in Formula 1. First obviously introduced in 2011 and has been subject to much criticism over the years. But that will not be in use for the remainder of this race. We're on lap 33 of 35 under safety car conditions, the 3rd safety car from this race. So far from this race we have lost Steffi Weffy Gamer, M Chammer, Dublin, FFR Harry and R7 Luke, so a double retirement for Maranello. Just often you see 2 Ferraris retiring from a race. When was the last time 2 Ferraris retired from a race? Styria 2020? Something like that, but the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. We have a 2-lap sprint to the finish. Wedgie started from pole, conceded it on lap 1, spun around. He probably didn't think he'd be back in the lead of this race, but he is with just 2 laps remaining. XTR Red has been dominant since the beginning. He will be chasing down the AlphaTauri. Rapids was chasing down XTR Red. What a finish we have in store for us. Wedgie weaving from left to right. When is he going to pick his moment to get? AlphaTauri gets us back underway here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve through the final chicane. He's got the legs for the moment on the Red Bull of XTR Red. Then comes Rapids. With just 2 laps left of this race, we are back underway. All eyes rightly on this battle for the lead so far. We have action brewing across the track. Merc Fusion on the inside of official DTV. That got close to tears there, but now official DTV on the inside of Weil and makes that move stick. So the AlphaTauri now up into 6th place, but we can now see Rapids on the inside of XTR Red. This is a critical move as XTR Red slams Rapids out wide. So these two have finally come together in this race. It was certainly boiling to this moment. Yellow flags out in Sector 1, but now you can see XTR Red's surely got a good enough exit on Wedgie. He looks to the inside, he looks to the outside. Is he going to be late enough on the brakes? He isn't for the moment, but now he's going to plant down the power earlier than the AlphaTauri. The lead that he held for so long is not his for the moment, but it could be in a couple of 100 metres. The AlphaTauri defending to the inside. The Red Bull is going to try and stick with him down the straight. Is he going to have enough into the chicane? No, he won't. But he's got a very good exit as the Red Bull. But the Mercedes is lurking. He's lurking behind. They're going to go 3 wide down the start-finish straight. This is absolutely brilliant. The Red Bull on the inside has the lead of the race. The AlphaTauri slams into him. Rapids almost slams into XTR Red, but it is the Red Bull who leads on the final lap of the race. He's got his move done, he's got past Wedgie, but Rapids on the softer, younger tyres is not going to give up on this race win just yet. No DRS is in play for the moment. Tommy is now up into the points, into 10th place. A race that has been littered with drama from start to finish. Has still possibly got some left to tell. But it is XTR Red who leads out in front. It has been a race of attrition. It has been a race so indicative of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Official DTV's on a charge for the moment. He's up into 4th. What a charge this has been from the AlphaTauri. It's going to be a 3rd and a 4th seemingly for the Italian team. But it is going to be a race win that XTR Red held from the get-go, and it's going to be a race win that he will hold to the checkered flag. He wins from Rapids, but as the penalties have been applied, XTR Red loses the win. Okay, there's been a lag here. That just spoils my line there. Let's have a look. Wow. With the penalties being applied, that's the order we've been given, but that confuses me. Wow. I'm gobsmacked. A race that XTR Red won on track. I'm going to have to see these penalties, because I'm absolutely blown away. Absolutely gobsmacked. I thought that was XTR Red's race win. It's the penalty he had. I'm dying to know this. XTR Red had a 9-second time penalty. A 9-second time penalty that has deprived him of a race win which he held on road. So it is Max Vettel who is your race winner in the Williams around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. A crazy, frantic race has seen the Williams come out on top from 11th on the grid with the fastest lap of the race. Oh my word. So SSRL Gasly in 2nd place, followed by Rapids, then Mears in 4th, Wedgie who started from pole finishes 5th, XTR Red who finished first on the road comes home 6th. Then comes Ragiut. I'd like Buffalo kicked off because that's officially me, and obviously I haven't raced. Official DTV 9th and Tommy 10th. Then we have Merc Fusion, Hollier Page, Weil, Stone Elk, Prudish Medal, and then your retirements. R7 Luke, FFR Harry, Dublin, M Chama and Steffi Wecky Gamer. Wow. What a race that was. I am absolutely gobsmacked. Wow. that seems to be that. Your race winner, unbelievably, is Matt Vettel in the Williams, followed by SSRL Gasly and Rapids. My word, my word. What a race, what an ending. I was completely caught out by that. I knew XTR Red had a penalty, I didn't realise it was that severe. Well, that's it. That is it for the Canadian Grand Prix. A wild, wondrous race has met its conclusion. Thank you all so very much for your company. And I hope you enjoy your Sunday evening and are left, well, reverberating the energy that the circuit Gilles Villeneuve produced today. Until next time on RCRL, we will see you next time.